We're almost off quarantine. Woo! If you guys read the news, we can go back to church, but they still don't know what regulation.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are all doing well. Good news, looks like we're getting to a better result for COVID-19. So hopefully we'll be seeing each other soon. And yeah, let's start this video.
You beckon me to leave all that I know. You beckon me to call you as my own. This is life, to bid me
You are the glory. Let's taste. You never did, you never fade. You are the power, the truth, and nothing can stop you, and nothing can stop you. Even the darkest days are temporary. You are the everlasting light. All of the time and space could not contain you. You are the everlasting light. Even the darkest days are temporary. You are the everlasting light. All of the time and space could not contain you. You are the everlasting light. You are the everlasting light. The end and the beginning, the new reality. Outside my understanding, but still within my reach. As far as I can see you, you're closer still to me. You're the everlasting light. The end and the beginning, the new reality. Outside my understanding, but still within my reach. As far as I can see you, you're closer still to me. You are the everlasting light. The end and the beginning, the new reality. Outside my understanding, but still within my reach. As far as I can see you, you're closer still to me. You are the everlasting light. Even the darkest days are temporary. You are the everlasting light. All of the time and space could not contain you. You are the everlasting light. Even the darkest days are temporary. You are the everlasting light. All of the time and space could not contain you. You are the everlasting light.
Hello, everybody. God bless. I hope you guys are all doing good, and I hope you guys enjoyed that worship. We are super excited because it seems like we're getting super close to finally getting out of quarantine, which is amazing. So we hope you guys are all doing great at home, and you guys have been staying safe and just staying consistent, watching videos, not letting the circumstances that we're in affect your relationship with God and affect your relationship with your community and your church. So we hope that you guys are doing good. We hope to hear from you guys. Just a side note, we are doing Bible study every week on Wednesday. If you guys are interested in joining, please DM us on Instagram at ICMDYOUTH so you guys can take part of our Bible study. It's been awesome. We've been doing it for the past couple weeks, and it has honestly been so amazing. So we would love to have y'all join us. If you're interested, once again, DM us on Instagram at ICMDYouth. So just gonna go ahead and jump right into the word for this week. So this message was inspired by Joseph. So I wasn't really too sure what I was going to talk about. And having to preach week after week is honestly something that has taken a toll. I feel like I have been having to really, really focus my energy on my relationship with God and really focus and listen to what God is trying to tell me and just really lend my ear to hear and also lend my heart to be used and to be impacted by what God's trying to do, right? So I was looking at the Bible and this verse really caught my attention, and it's in Genesis 50:20, and it's the only verse I'm going to reference for today. So it says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good. He brought me to this position so I could save the lives of many people." So this specific chapter and that specific verse is talking about Joseph, and he's talking to his brothers. And mind you, this is after his brothers had sold him to slavery, basically. And this is after the death of their father, and his brothers are asking for his forgiveness because they obviously know what they did and they recognize like the wrong that they did, and they're pleading for Joseph's forgiveness. And I just think it's so amazing, just the wording of the way Joseph responds. This is the NLT version. It says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good." There's so many circumstances and situations in our life that are going to harm us, that are intended to hurt us, to bring us down, to just put us in a position where we're really, really questioning, is there God? Is this even real? Like, what am I supposed to do in this circumstance? And I think the way Joseph words it is amazing. Like, all this was intended to harm me, but God intended to use it for good. All the circumstances and all the trials in our life, this quarantine, this whole situation, this whole pandemic is meant to harm. The devil can use it to harm us, but God is intending to use it for good. And I think it's so amazing now that we can reflect on and think like these past, 10 weeks have been a trial. They have been moments of uncertainty, moments of doubt. There's been a lot of questioning whether if there's a God, then why does he allow this to happen? And I've seen so many people either really lean into their faith or really back away from their faith. And I hope you're really leaning into your faith and not backing away from it, because all this is simply one small season in our life that is meant to impact us, that is meant to have a purpose. And I love that at the end of that sentence, it says, "He brought me to this position so I could save the lives of many people." Our positioning is meant for good. When God places us in a certain position in a certain time, it's for a reason. There's always a reason and a purpose for your positioning. And we have to allow ourselves to be positioned. That's one of the biggest things, is if we can't allow ourselves to be placed and positioned by God, we are going to find ourselves questioning our position constantly, asking ourselves, why am I here? Why am I not there? Why am I not doing this? And we start comparing ourselves, and God saying, let me position you. Let me place you where you're supposed to be placed, and watch how your life is going to have purpose, and it's going to impact the lives of so many others. And right now, God has positioned us in a pandemic, in the middle of a pandemic, and he's saying, watch what I can do through your life, through your faith, through your testimony. What is it that you did in these 10 weeks? Did you lean into your relationship with God? Did you lean into the Bible? Did you work as hard as you can to make sure your faith was super strengthened, and that your faith was always placed in God, and that your trust was placed in God? Or did you back away? Did you lean away from your faith? Did you start ignoring church, ignoring community because now you don't have to, right? You're placed in quarantine. Now you don't necessarily have to go to church. You don't have to watch these YouTube videos we're posting. You don't have to join on the Bible studies that we're doing. You don't have to join in community. And I really hope that you can say, you know what, throughout these 10, 12 weeks, whatever it was, I leaned into my relationship with God. I got to know God on a deeper level. I got to find myself understanding my positioning, understanding the place that God's putting me in. Or are you backing away from God? Are you ignoring it? Are you ignoring community? Are you becoming isolated? Because to tell you the truth, and I love this, Pastor Michael Todd is such an amazing pastor and is such an amazing preacher. And he's actually one of the preachers we're looking at in our Bible study. And he talked about not being alone. We are not meant to do life alone. God does not intend for us to be alone. He does not intend for us to self-isolate, to ignore community. God intends community for our life. He intends relationship for our lives. And that is a relationship with the church, with your community, with your family, and most importantly with him. And I just love the way Joseph was so secure in his relationship with God to understand that I am not anybody to place judgment, to hold on to forgiveness. And instead he understands everything that was meant to harm me was meant for good. Whatever the devil throws our way is something that God's gonna take and use it for good. This circumstance that we have been going through is something that we're gonna remember for the rest of our lives, but it's also a moment for you to say, that's when I solidified my relationship with God. That's when I got to know God. In those 10, 12 weeks, I was able to lean into the word, lean into prayer, lean into my faith and my relationship with God. And it's also gonna be a moment for you to say, I wasted 10 weeks, 12 weeks and did not get closer to God. If anything, I backed away. And I'm praying that you guys are the first person and not the second person. I'm just hopeful that when this is all over, we can all get together and enjoy the community that God gave us, enjoy the church that God positioned us in and placed us in. And I'm gonna leave you guys with this. All the trials in our lives, all the bad things that happen in our lives that are occurring, all the bad situations, all those seasons of discomfort, God's trying to use those in your life for something impactful, something positive, something good. Our lives are intended to be used for good. And I hope that you guys are doing the best you can to have a relationship with God, to take advantage of this moment of just solitude and just being able to really dive into a relationship with God without all the distractions, without all the things that would normally hold us back, that we would normally use as excuses to not dive into our relationship with God. So I hope you guys are all doing good. You guys are all staying safe. I'm excited to see you all soon. And like I said, don't lose sight of what God's trying to do. Don't lose sight because circumstances seem bad. Don't try and position yourself somewhere that's not meant for you. God has a reason, God has a purpose, and he's gonna place us and position us in a place where all the harm that is intended for us will be used for good so that our lives can have purpose and impact other people. And I hope you guys are staying safe once again, and just take care. I'm praying for all of y'all, and God bless you guys, and hopefully we will be seeing y'all soon. Okay, bye.